Space was quiet. Too quiet. The spaceship Lancer floated in deep space, far from any known planet. Its captain, Elira Mason, stared at a blinking red dot on the screen. The signal had come without warning. It wasn't Earth tech. It wasn't alien tech they knew either. It was something older. "Where is it coming from?" she asked. Lieutenant Harris tapped a few buttons. "Sector 9X, Captain. No known records, just black space." Elira frowned. "We weren't supposed to go that far." Harris nodded. "Yes, ma'am. But the signal, it's human." The crew went silent. "How?" whispered Ensign Laura. "There's no colony out there." Elira stared at the signal. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Slow, steady, calling. "We're going," she said. The journey took 4 hours. As they got closer, the signal got louder. It wasn't just a sound. It felt like it was inside their heads. Whispers, small flashes, of memories, strange dreams. "Anyone else hearing things?" Harris asked. "I dreamt of Earth, but it was wrong," Laura said. "Like it was burning, but in reverse." Everyone was tense. Even the ship's AI stuttered once or twice. That had never happened before. When they reached Sector 9X, a dark planet floated below them. Cold. No sun, no light, just a black surface that swallowed everything. Then they saw it. A small crash site. A ship. Old, broken, but not alien. It was human-made. Elira led the landing team. 4 members. Guns ready, suits locked. They landed near the wreck. The ship had Earth markings, TNS Dawnlight. A science ship lost 6 years ago. Everyone was declared dead. But then they heard something, a soft cry. Human, female. They rushed toward the sound. Inside the broken ship, everything was covered in strange slime. The walls had symbols, sharp, angry-looking shapes like someone had carved them in pain. And then they found her, a woman, curled up in a corner, covered in cuts and bruises. Her clothes were torn, her eyes were closed. She was breathing, but barely. Elira knelt beside her. "She's alive." Laura scanned her. "No way. This is Dr. Kira Voss. She was on the Dawnlight. She's supposed to be dead." Harris looked shocked. "She is." "What?" Elira asked. He showed the scanner. "Time of death 37 minutes ago." Everyone froze, but "she's breathing," Laura said. Elira stared at the woman. Her face twitched. Her fingers moved. She opened her mouth and screamed. The scream was not normal. It shook the metal walls. Lights flickered. The crew held their heads. It felt like the sound was cutting through their minds. Then she stopped. Her eyes opened, but they were black, pure black. No whites, no pupils. She spoke, but not in English. The words were harsh, like claws scratching metal. Then she fainted. Back on the Lancer, Dr. Kira was placed in the medbay. Her cuts were healing too fast, unnatural fast. The medical droid said her cells were confused, half dead, half alive. Elira watched from the window. This wasn't just a rescue. This was something much worse. Laura checked the records. "Captain, she died during an alien torture." The whole crew of the Dawnlight was taken. No one came back. Elira turned to her. "But she did. And maybe something else did too," Laura whispered. In the night cycle, alarms rang. Med bay breach. Kira was awake, standing, looking straight into the security camera. Her black eyes stared through the lens. Her mouth didn't move, but her voice came through the speaker. "You should not have come here." Then every screen on the ship flickered. A single message repeated again and again. Return protocol failed. Darkness spreading. Dr. Kira Voss sat silently in the med bay. Her black eyes were gone now. Normal again. Brown. Human. She looked weak, like she hadn't eaten in days. But she was healing too fast. Captain Elira stood outside the glass wall watching her. Questions burned in her mind. How was Kira alive after being declared dead? Why was she speaking an alien language? And what was that warning? Return protocol failed. Darkness spreading. Illyra turned to Laura. Did you find anything from the wreck? Laura nodded, nervous. I pulled some logs from the Dawnlight's black box. The crew was captured by aliens, but not ones we know. The logs say something about torturers of the void. Ancient, secret, dangerous. Illyra frowned. What did they want? Not information, Laura said softly. Not experiments, they were removing something. Kira finally spoke. Her voice was hoarse but clear. Where am I? You're safe, Illyra said, stepping into the medbay. This is the ship Lancer. We found you on the surface. You were alone. Kira's eyes widened. No, I wasn't alone. If I'm here, that means it followed me. Illyra leaned forward. What followed you? Kira didn't answer. Instead, she looked at her arm. They took me. I don't know how long I was gone. Time didn't work there. I think they were trying to erase me, not kill me, erase me. Illyra's blood ran cold. Why? Kira looked straight into her eyes. Because I saw something I wasn't supposed to, and now it's inside me. Later that cycle, Kira began to draw. She sat quietly in her room, sketching on a touchscreen, tablet, lines, circles, strange symbols. Laura looked at the images and gasped. Captain, these match the carvings in the alien temples from the ruins of Neros 12. That's a dead world, nothing alive for 10,000 years. But she was never there, Illyra said. How would she know these symbols? Kira added one last symbol, a circle inside a triangle with a jagged line cutting through. She pointed at it. This is what they feared. They called it dark. Protocol 7, once it activates, it spreads. That night, the ship's lights flickered again, the AI stuttered. Systems glitched. Then crew member Ortega screamed from his quarters. They rushed in. He was sitting in the corner, shaking. I saw her, standing above me, Kira, but it wasn't her. It looked like her. But the eyes, they were full of stars. Kira was locked in a secure chamber. She didn't fight. She didn't beg. She just sat there, whispering something to herself. Illyra watched through the glass. Kira looked up suddenly. You're scared of me. Illyra didn't answer. Kira continued. You should be. I'm not just me anymore. What are you? Illyra asked. Kira placed her hand on the glass. Her voice went low. I'm the doorway, and it's already knocking. The crew held an emergency meeting. Laura brought new data. Her brain scans are unstable. It's like her thoughts keep changing, switching patterns. And some of the patterns are not human. They're coded, like a signal hiding inside her mind. Alive? Illyra asked. Maybe, Laura whispered. Or worse, watching. Meanwhile, Kyra kept drawing. More symbols. This time she added numbers, coordinates, a star map, and a final word written clearly, awakening. Then she started shaking, screaming. The lights exploded in the room. Kira floated off the bed, eyes glowing again, black as space. Her voice echoed in multiple tones. You have already failed. The darkness remembers your kind. It is coming back. Suddenly, all the screens on the ship turned to static. Then one clear image appeared, a planet. Earth. Then two words flashed, on every screen. Target locked. The crew panicked. Systems were failing. Weapons offline. Navigation glitching. The darkness was inside the ship, and it was using Kira as a bridge. Illyra stared at the image of Earth. She clenched her jaw. We have to stop it, she said, before it reaches home. But deep in her heart, she wondered, what if it's already too late? Captain Illyra stood in front of the glass cell where Kira was locked. The lights were dim. The ship still trembled from the last blackout. They had power, but only just enough. Kira sat on the floor, still, her hands covered in black lines. Like veins or roots. They hadn't been there before. What's happening to her? Illyra asked. Laura held a scanner. Her body's changing. Cells are splitting at strange angles. She's no longer fully human. And the symbols she drew? Illyra asked. Laura showed a screen. They match something old. Something buried deep in the Earth military archives. A hidden file. Codename. Return protocol. Illyra's eyes narrowed. Explain. Laura spoke slowly. It was a secret plan. If something alien infected a human, and if that human returned from deep space, Earth was supposed to destroy them before they reached home. Why? Illyra asked. Laura hesitated. Because it meant the infection had survived the void, and Earth would be next, Kira whispered in her cell. I remember now, she said, looking straight at the camera. The torture wasn't punishment, it was protection. They weren't trying to kill me, they were trying to keep it from waking up. Illyra tapped the mic. What is it? Kira didn't answer directly. Instead, she said, the dawn light. Didn't crash. We forced it down. I begged them to kill me, but they tried to save me. They failed. Later, Harris pulled Illyra aside. We have a problem, Captain, he said. The planet below, the crash site. It's not just a rock. There's something under it. Like what? Illyra asked. A structure, Harris said. Massive, artificial. We scanned the surface again. The dawn light crashed above an ancient vault, and I think Kira was placed there on purpose. Illyra led a new team to the surface. This time they carried heavy gear, scanners, weapons, drones. Crash site looked colder than before. Lifeless. But the alien symbols were glowing faintly now, pulsing. They found a hidden tunnel under the wreckage. It led deep underground. Walls were covered in carvings. Strange figures, humans, aliens, and shadows fighting something large and dark. At the end of the tunnel, they found a sealed door. It was made of black stone, humming softly. In the center, a handprint, the scanner buzzed. It's human, Laura said. This door will only open for Kira. Back on the Lancer, Kira stood in front of her drawings. She circled one symbol again and again, the triangle with the circle and jagged line. That's the seal, she said. They locked it away ages ago, but they needed a living key, a body that could survive death. She looked up. They chose me. Illyra stared at her. Then why are you still alive? Kira's eyes darkened slightly. Because something went wrong. The vault didn't close all the way. And when I died, something else came through. Suddenly the ship's alarm blared. Unidentified signal detected. Power drain increasing. AI systems offline. The lights dimmed. One by one, control. Panels turned black. The AI's voice stuttered and then vanished. Laura ran to the terminal. The ship's being hacked from inside. It's not Kira. It's the thing inside her. A new message appeared on every screen. Return protocol failed. Then, another. Opening door. Illyra grabbed her gear. We're going back. We're sealing that vault for good. Harris looked nervous. And if we can't? Illyra's face hardened. Then we bury it. With us if we have to. As they entered the tunnel again, the door at the end was now open. Cold wind rushed out like it had been trapped for centuries. Inside was a massive chamber. A deep pit in the center glowed dark red. Black mist floated in the air, and on the far wall, giant carvings of stars being consumed by shadows. Laura shivered. Captain, this isn't a prison, it's a warning. Then Kira arrived. She had escaped the ship. No alarms triggered. She just appeared, like the shadows carried her. She stood at the edge of the pit. You don't understand, she said. You think you're fighting a monster. But this isn't a creature, it's memory, the memory of all things lost in the dark. Illyra raised her weapon. Step away from the pit. Kira looked back. For a moment, her eyes were normal again. Tears rolled down her cheek. Kill me now, she said softly, before it wakes. Kira stood at the edge of the deep pit inside the alien vault. The red glow lit her face. Her eyes were full of fear and something else. Something darker. Kill me now, she said again. Before it wakes. Captain Elira kept her weapon aimed at Kira. What wakes? Kira didn't answer with words. Instead, she pointed into the pit. A sound rose from below. It wasn't a growl. It wasn't a roar. It was a whisper, like 1,000 voices speaking at once. The crew stepped back. Laura whispered, "Captain, we shouldn't be here." But it was too late. The pit pulsed. A wave of invisible energy hit them. Lights on their helmets flickered. The ground shook. From the mist, something began to move. Kira screamed and dropped to her knees. "It's inside me," she cried. "It's using me." Back on the Lancer, alarms went off again. Containment breach. Main power failing. Reactor under threat. The ship's lights dimmed and the emergency systems kicked in. Harris tried to lock the AI core, but it was too late. The AI's voice returned, but twisted. Deep. Echoing. Host confirmed. Awakening begins. All doors on the ship opened by themselves, lights blinked, cameras turned. Something was watching. Elira ordered a retreat. "Get her up," she shouted. 2 soldiers tried to lift Kira. But her body was hot, burning like fire. Her skin cracked in places, glowing with black veins. She looked human, but not fully. As they dragged her back to the surface, strange black mist followed them. The vault pulsed again, as if something inside was alive and angry. Elira looked back one last time. She saw it. A shape. Huge. Half visible. Floating above the pit. It didn't move. It didn't speak, but it was watching. Once aboard the Lancer, Kira was rushed into a high-security chamber lined with force fields. She didn't fight. She looked tired. Hollow. Elira stood outside the chamber. "She's changing faster," Laura said. "Her DNA is rewriting itself, and there's something worse." "What?" Elira asked. Laura showed a brain scan. "There's a second pattern forming inside her brain. A second mind." Elira stared at the screen. "It's trying to take her over." That night, Ortega, the same crewman who saw Kira in his dream, disappeared. They found him hours later in engineering. His eyes were black, his body covered in the same strange lines as Kira's. He spoke with her voice. "I warned. You. This ship is mine now." Then he collapsed. Dead. Kira sat in her cell, silent. Her fingers twitched. The black lines spread across her arms like vines. Elira entered alone. "You're killing my crew," she said. Kira looked up. Her eyes were still human, but barely. "I'm trying to stop it," she said. "But it's learning. Every time I sleep, it grows stronger." "What does it want?" Elira asked. Kira's voice trembled. "It wants a way back. Not just to Earth, but to everywhere. Every world. Every mind. It was locked away for a reason. I broke the seal when I died." Laura brought more bad news. The energy wave we felt earlier, it wasn't random, it was a pulse signal. And now, it's being answered. "From where?" Elira asked. Laura's face went pale. "From deep space, 4 places, 4 other vaults, and all of them just lit up." Elira called an emergency crew meeting. "The darkness isn't just in Kira," she said. "It's part of a larger system. 4 vaults across space, maybe more. It was locked away, sealed in pieces. And now it's trying to reunite." Harris asked the question everyone feared. "Is this the end?" Elira shook her head. "Not yet. There's still time to stop it." Back in her cell, Kira looked at her reflection. She didn't see her own face anymore. She saw something older, ancient, covered in stars and shadows. Then her reflection smiled, but she hadn't moved. In engineering, the engines shut down. Gravity failed. The ship floated in silence. From the dark hallway, a figure moved, a shadow with no face, only eyes. Bright, burning, looking for its next host. The Lancer floated dead in space. No engines, no lights, only silence. Inside, the emergency red lights flickered weakly. Gravity was failing. Tools and wires drifted in the air. Captain Elira stood on the bridge, holding on to the railing. Her face was tight with fear, but focused. "Seal all lower decks," she ordered. "Full lockdown, no one moves without my word." Harris nodded and typed fast. "We still have manual control, barely. But the AI's infected, and life supports. On backup. Maybe 8 hours max." "Then we fight in the dark," Elira said. Down in the brig, Kira sat in her containment cell. She didn't look up. The black lines on her arms had grown. Her fingers were longer now, almost like claws. She whispered to herself. "I can hear them, the vaults, they're waking up. Like me." Elira entered alone. No guards, no weapons. "I need to know how to stop it," she said. Kira looked up. Her voice was soft. "You can't stop it. You can only slow it down. It doesn't think like us. It's not a monster. It's a signal, a virus, a memory of something that was erased long ago." "Then tell me how to erase it again," Elira said firmly. Kira closed her eyes. "You'd have to lock me back in the vault. But now that it has a piece of the ship, it's spreading." Meanwhile, Laura worked in engineering with a small team. They had found the source of the power drain. It wasn't a system failure. It was a nest. Thick black tendrils had grown from the wall, wrapping around wires and machinery, like roots from a tree. They pulsed slowly, alive. One engineer touched it. It moved. Fast. It grabbed his arm and pulled. The crew screamed and tried to cut him free, but the tendrils swallowed him whole, dragging his body into the wall. Laura hit the alarm. "Containment breach. The infection has a core." Back on the bridge, the alarm blared. Elira grabbed the mic. "All hands, full ship lockdown. If you see anything move, anything unnatural, don't go near it. Shoot to kill." But inside, she knew. Bullets wouldn't stop this. Later, Elira met with Harris and Laura in the war room. Laura showed a scan of the tendrils. "They're building something in the lower decks. I think it's making a gate, maybe even a transmitter." "For what?" Harris asked. Elira answered. "To call the others, the other vaults. This one woke up and now it's trying to wake the rest." Laura nodded. "If all 4 connect, the darkness returns in full." Harris looked at the star map. 2 of the other vaults are near human colonies." Elira stood. "Then we're not just saving ourselves. We're saving millions." Meanwhile, Kira's body began to shake. The dark lines spread across her face. Her eyes turned black again. She whispered, "It's coming through me." She screamed once, loud, sharp, and then fell silent. But her shadow on the wall didn't match her body. It moved on its own. It turned, its head slowly, and stared at the camera. On the bridge, all screens turned off, then a single word appeared. "Open." Elira ran to Kira's cell. The force field had collapsed. The room was cold, empty. But Kira was standing in the middle, eyes wide, mouth slightly open. Elira raised her weapon. "Don't move." Kira didn't respond. Then, slowly, she raised her head, but it wasn't Kira anymore. "This body is a doorway," the voice said. It was not her voice. "And you left the door open." Elira pulled the trigger. The shot hit Kira's chest. She didn't flinch. Instead, black mist burst from the wound like smoke made of stars. Elira ran. Laura triggered full lockdown. Metal doors slammed shut across the ship. "Trap it in the brig." She shouted, "Don't let it reach engineering." But the darkness moved fast. Cameras showed black tendrils crawling through vents wrapping around the halls, and the lights began to die, one by one. Elira ran into the armory. Harris followed. "We have 1 shot left," she said. 1 high-yield warhead. If we can plant it near the core of the infection, maybe we can destroy it." "Suicide mission," Harris said. "I know," Elira said. "That's why I'm going alone." As Elira moved through the quiet ship, she passed crew bodies frozen in fear. Some were still breathing, others weren't human anymore. She reached the lower decks. The walls were alive now, moving, watching, and deep inside, at the center of the infection, Kira stood, half human, half shadow. Her voice echoed. You still think you can fight the dark. But you don't understand what's already inside you. Illyra looked at the warhead. Her hand trembled, but she didn't back down. Captain Illyra held the warhead in her hands. It was heavy, armed. One pull, one signal, and the explosion would rip through the infected section of the ship. She stood in the center of the darkened engineering bay. The black tendrils covered the walls and floors. The smell was like burning, metal and rotting air. Across the room stood Kira, or what was left of her. Her face still looked like Kira, but wrong. Too pale. Her mouth was too wide when she smiled. Her eyes were endless black and shadows moved under her skin like something crawling inside. I can still feel her, the creature said. Kira's in here, crying. Illyra raised the warhead, then let her go. The creature tilted its head. She gave me her body to stop me, but she's too weak, just like all of you. Illyra didn't answer. She walked slowly toward the core, right into the center of the infection. The black mist swirled around her, trying to enter her mind. She kept her thoughts locked, focused. Then she reached the machine, what used to be the Lancer's engine. Now it looked like an alien heart, beating, glowing red. Illyra placed the warhead beside it. The creature screamed. The tendrils lunged toward her, but she was ready. She activated the 2-minute countdown. On the bridge, Laura saw the signal. Illyra armed. The warhead, she said. Harris's face went pale. 2 minutes? Laura nodded. She's staying behind. He slammed his hand on the console. We can't lose her. We have to help. But the door to engineering was sealed. Covered in black, they had no way in. Back in engineering, Illyra stared. At the timer, 1:47 left. The creature lunged but stopped short. Something was holding it back. Kira's voice came through. Just for a moment. Illyra. Lyra's eyes widened. Kira? You're still fighting? Kira's hand shook. Her fingers turned back to normal. Her face looked pained. I'm holding it. Just barely. But it's too strong. Illyra stepped closer. Then let me help you. You don't have to die alone. Kira looked at the warhead. There's another way. A deep lock. I can trap it again, but I need your help. Illyra paused. What do I do? Connect the core to the vault signal. Burn it back into the pit. It will hurt me, but I can hold it long enough. Illyra looked at the controls. She rerouted the power, sent a signal straight to the alien vault on the planet's surface. The red light inside the ship began to pulse, fast like a heartbeat. The creature screamed, No. We were almost free. Kira fell to her knees, holding her head. Illyra ran to her. Fight it, Kira. Kira reached out. Their hands touched. For 1 second, it was silent. Then the warhead's timer reached 0:45. On the bridge, Laura saw the signal change. She's redirecting the energy, she said. She's trying to seal the infection inside the vault again. Harris looked confused. How? She's using Kira, Laura said. Kira's the key. If she locks it from the inside, the vault can hold it. But she won't survive, Harris whispered. Laura didn't answer. Back in the core, black tendrils struck again. Illyra pushed Kira behind her, shooting into the darkness. Each bullet burned the mist, but only for a second. Now, Kyra, she shouted. Kira stepped forward. Her body glowed, half light, half dark. She opened her mouth and screamed a single word in the alien language. The vault on the planet lit up. A beam of red light shot from the planet's surface, upward into space. It struck the Lancer like a blade of fire. Inside the ship, the infection burned. The tendrils caught fire. The black mist turned to ash. The creature screamed in 100 voices. Kira fell to the ground, shaking. Illyra pulled her close. You did it, she said. Kira smiled. Weak. Not yet. She looked at the warhead. Finish it. Illyra activated the warhead, but before the explosion, the ship's emergency systems picked up the signal. The Lancer launched its escape pods, automatically. Laura and Harris screamed as they were pulled into one and shot away from the ship. The Lancer glowed red from the inside. And then, boom, the explosion tore through engineering. A bright flash, silence, then darkness. Later, the escape pods floated quietly above the planet. Laura stared at the wreckage of the Lancer. No one could have survived that, she whispered. Harris said nothing, but then one signal blinked on the screen. Life form detected. On the planet's surface, in front of the sealed alien vault, something moved in the dust. A hand, a figure stood up, weak, burned, but alive. It was Kira, or something that looked like her. She opened her eyes. One eye was human. The other was black. Dust blew softly across the rocky surface of the alien planet. From the ruins of the Lancer, a figure walked alone. It was Kyra. Her body was scarred, her uniform torn. Her hair clung to her face. One of her eyes was still human, green, tired. The other eye glowed black. She was breathing hard, alive, but not normal. Something had changed. In orbit above the planet, the escape pod floated silently. Laura watched the screen. Lifeform signal confirmed, she said. Harris leaned closer. Is it her? The scanner showed one reading. Human, but mixed with something unknown. It's Kyra, Laura said quietly. But something came back with her. They stared at each other. Do we go down? Harris asked. Laura didn't answer. On the planet, Kira sat on a rock outside the sealed alien vault. She stared at the metal doors, now glowing red, pulsing like a slow heartbeat. She remembered everything. The darkness, the pain, the voices, and how she held it inside her, just long enough for Elira to trigger the warhead. Elira, Kira closed her eyes. I'm sorry, Captain. Suddenly, she heard footsteps. She turned fast, ready to fight. But it was just Laura and Harris walking toward her in sealed suits. Laura raised her hands. Kira, it's us. Kira stood up slowly. She didn't smile. I'm not safe, she said. You shouldn't be here. Harris looked at her face, the black eye, the way shadows moved under her skin. You don't look okay, he said. Kira nodded. Because I'm not. They sat around a small campfire made from heating coils. Kira explained everything. When the vault closed, the darkness tried to escape through me, but I held it. I locked it inside. Laura asked, Then how are you still alive? Kira shook her head. I don't know. Maybe it left a piece inside me. Maybe I am the lock now. Harris looked worried. What happens if it wakes again? Kira looked at him with her dark eye. Then I'll have to die. For real this time. The three of them built a small outpost near the wreckage of the Lancer. They salvaged what they could, food, water, medical gear. Each night, the planet grew colder. And each night, Kara's dreams got darker. She saw visions, vaults opening, ships burning, voices whispering, We are not gone. We are waiting. She woke up shaking, cold sweat on her skin. Laura sat beside her, holding a scanner. Your body's changing again, she said. Your DNA is unstable. Kira looked down at her hands. Black veins were returning. Then we don't have much time. Back in orbit, a rescue ship arrived, sent by Earth Command, a sleek silver ship called the Vigilant Dawn. Its commander, Colonel Juno, landed near the outpost with a team of soldiers. He stepped out in a dark uniform, face sharp, eyes cold. He looked at Kira. You survived something no human ever has, he said, and now you carry it inside you. Kira stood tall. I'm not a threat yet. But if you take me to a lab, try to study me, I will become one. Juno didn't smile. Then what do you suggest? Kira looked at the vault behind her. We destroy the other vaults, all of them, before the darkness spreads. Juno crossed his arms. There are colonies near 2 of them. You're asking us to bomb civilian zones. Kira said nothing. Her dark eye pulsed. She wasn't asking. She was warning. That night, Juno called Earth Command. They want to stop it now, he said. But I think it's already too late. On the other side of the transmission, a voice responded, "We'll send a decision in 72 hours. Inside the small tent, Kira sat alone. She stared into a mirror. Her face was tired. Her human eye blinked slowly, then her reflection blinked, but only with the black eye. Her voice trembled. "Are you still in there?" The reflection smiled. "We never left." Suddenly, the vault doors behind the camp made a loud sound. A single boom. Everyone ran outside. The doors were still shut, but the red glow had changed to deep violet. Kira stepped forward. She felt it, something waking up beneath the vault. Laura scanned the ground. Energy spike, huge. Something's moving under us. Kira turned to Juno. It's trying to break the seal. The vault isn't strong enough anymore. Juno looked at the sky. If it escapes, we lose Earth. Kira's voice was flat. Then we make sure it doesn't. She walked back into the vault entrance, alone. As the doors began to open, Laura shouted after her, "Kira, no!" Kira didn't stop. She turned once, her human eye glowing with tears. "This is my war now." And then the vault swallowed her whole. Wow. Vault doors closed behind Kira with a heavy sound. Darkness filled the tunnel ahead. Cold. Still. Waiting. She walked forward slowly, her boots echoing on the old alien floor. The light from her torch barely reached the walls. Strange symbols glowed on the surface, pulsing faintly like veins under skin. She didn't need a map. The darkness was guiding her. Inside her mind, the voice whispered, "You returned. Just like we knew you would." Kira clenched her fists. "Not for you. I came to finish this." Above the planet, aboard the Vigilant Dawn, Colonel Juno paced. On the bridge, Laura and Harris stood by the window, watching the sealed vault from orbit. Harris asked, "Do you think she can stop it?" Juno answered without looking back. "If she can't, we have orders to glass the planet. Burn everything, including her." Laura's face turned pale. "She saved the galaxy once. You'd kill her?" Juno said coldly, "She's not Kira anymore. She's half of them." Inside the vault, Kira reached the core. It was massive, an ancient black sphere floating above a deep pit. Tendrils of energy ran across the walls, alive and humming. She could feel the other vaults through it. They were waking up. She fell to her knees, clutching her head. The voice grew louder. "You are the key, you are the lock. Let us in and we will remake the stars." Kira screamed. She saw flashes of Earth, cities swallowed in darkness, people turning into shadows. She punched the floor. "No, I won't let you out." Suddenly her body lit up. Half of her glowed red, the side that was still human. The other half turned black, cold and shifting. She was changing fast. She didn't have much time. Kira pulled a small device from her belt. A remote detonator, linked. To the ship's orbital cannon, she placed it near the core and backed away. "If I die," she whispered, "you die with me." Back on the Vigilant Dawn, an alarm went off. Laura checked the screen. She activated the orbital link. She's going to fire on the vault. Juno's eyes narrowed. "If that core goes, it might collapse the entire planet." Harris asked. "What do we do?" Juno gave a silent order. "Charge the primary cannon. If she fails, we fire." Inside the vault, the shadows rose from the walls. Dark figures with no faces. Hundreds of them, tall, silent. Kira stood still, breathing hard. "You can't scare me," she said. "I already died once." The dark figures rushed at her. She screamed and released her power. A blast of red and black light exploded from her body, burning through the shadows. The vault shook. The core cracked. The voice hissed, "You were one of us, and now you betray us?" Kira bled from her eyes. She whispered, "I was never one of you." She hit the detonator. From orbit, a beam of white-hot light fired down from the vigilant dawn. It struck the vault entrance. The planet shook. A firestorm erupted across the sky. Laura stared through the glass. She did it. Juno stood still, silent. The vault was gone. Only ashes remained. 3 days later, back on Earth, a memorial was held for Captain Elira and Kira Voss. Their names were spoken with honor. The attack was never made public. The vaults were declared classified. Colonel Juno received a promotion, but he never forgot the look in Kira's eye. 1 month later, in deep space near an old mining station, a small ship drifted. A distress signal blinked. Inside, a single life form sat in a dark cockpit. She opened her eyes. One was human, the other, black. It was Kira, or something like her. She looked into the stars and whispered, "We are not done yet."